Compression is one of the most useful tools in the art of recording and mixing. Compressors are used for a wide range of tasks, from technical uses, like evening out wildly varying levels in a recording or preventing overloads, to their use as an effect for fattening up or punching up the sound of drums and other instruments. While some of these applications create an obvious effect, others are so subtle that if they're applied correctly, you shouldn't be able to hear the compressor doing its thing. That, coupled with the fact that all the controls on a compressor interact, makes compression one of the hardest processes for people to get a handle on. But if you understand the basic operation well, a much better understanding of the applications will follow. To explain the basics of compressor operation, I'll start with an example of one typical application. Let's say you have a recording of a vocal or a guitar solo playing against a backing track. The performance is good, but it's dramatic. It incorporates some very quiet notes and some very loud ones. Musically, some of this dynamic variation is appropriate, but it may be a little too much, and when you listen to the solo against the track, the softer notes are getting buried, drowned out by the other instruments. If you raise the overall level of the track till those softer notes can be heard clearly, then some of the other louder notes become too loud and stick out like a sore thumb. You could try what engineers refer to as riding gain, raising or lowering the track's fader by hand, on the fly, and recording these adjustments with the DAW's automation. As you can see, some of the level jumps may be too quick to follow. That's when you turn to a compressor. With the track at a medium level against the mix, a compressor can be set to quickly clamp down on the levels of the louder notes, making the track quieter overall. But how about the softer notes? Once the loudest notes are tamed, the entire track can be safely raised and level, without the loud parts jumping out again, bringing the softer notes up until they can also be heard clearly. There'll still be differences in level, they just won't be that extreme. The dynamic range will be reduced to the point where the loudest and softest parts will both blend well with the track. Next up, I'll go over this again in detail, explaining and setting each of the compressor's controls as I step through the process.